Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Renegade Operative here, and welcome to yet another gaming discussions video. On the topic today, a very interesting subject has been popping in my feed a lot lately, and I wanted to give some feedback. This video is not going to be too long, but it's simply about the Xbox brand in Japan. Should Microsoft just cut their losses trying to cater to the Japanese because their games never really successfully go well in Japan? Their consoles never really sell in Japan, so gamers are saying, because of all this stuff going on, should Microsoft cut their losses and move on to something else and focus on the shooter market when it comes to appeasing American gamers? Personally, I think it's very easy for people to say Microsoft should just give up there, but just think about it. What if they're just making dumb decisions? I know a lot of people, probably even Japanese gamers, were really looking forward to Scalebound. A lot of people were really looking forward to that game probably, and they just up and canceled it. So I think they need to stop making dumb decisions like that. They need to focus their efforts and completely restructure their Japanese marketing campaign, because just take a step back, sit down, and just listen, because this is all boiled down to cultural difference. The Japanese probably didn't grow up thinking the same way that we do when it comes to like media in general. They probably don't like these giant muscle-bound machismo people that always gets the babe in the end. They probably don't like the modern military shooter. They probably don't like FPS games. They probably don't like the fact that some people do buy a console just to play Madden. Maybe that stuff doesn't appeal to them, and I mean, that's all fine and subjective, but I mean, everyone has their own tastes and opinions on video games. And because we're so culturally different from the Japanese, then they certainly are invested into stuff they grew up with, into consoles that are native to their homeland, and they are invested into games that appeal to them, like Monster Hunter or JRPGs. So I think that maybe Microsoft should go back and they should totally and completely restructure their Japanese marketing team, because it's not going anywhere when it comes to what they promote. Again, they don't like the same games that we like. So go back in there, change some stuff around, market some different games to them, and see what sticks and what doesn't. And maybe, just maybe, those Xbox sales will boost up. I think that marketing is indeed important to certain gamers, and you have to know what the cultural difference is to really market your game to some people that might be interested. Now, I do believe that the Americans are more invested in shooters and sports. It's just a common thing. It's something that a lot of people will probably go out and buy once you market your game like that, once you market some trailers like that. But I believe for the Japanese side, something is going wrong with Microsoft and the Xbox. That's why the Xbox doesn't sell well in Japan. I just think that they're shoving shit down people's throat in Japan, and they don't like it, so they don't buy an Xbox. This comes to my second point. A lot of people are saying that Microsoft should just stop doing JRPGs entirely. They should just put a kibosh to that. They should get Phil the Axeman Spencer to come in and chop down the fucking door and just stop doing JRPGs entirely. To that, I say it's a dumb decision, because you're cutting out a genre which people might go out and buy your system for. So I don't think they should stop their partnerships just because things went south with Platinum Games. That's the stupidest thing ever. I think that that's just cutting away money if you cut out a specific genre and then you tell the competition, hey, maybe Sony should have all RPGs on their system because the only thing we're good at is probably doing shooters and sports. Do you know how completely fucking retarded that sounds? To tell your competition that they should completely clean up in a genre because you had one bad business interaction with Platinum Games and you couldn't get your game that you wanted finished? That's so stupid. That's like saying, hey, we definitely want to sell off this asset to our competitor. Let's do it because it's such a good idea. This is such a great business decision to make. Do you know how stupid you sound by saying that? I think that perfectly they should keep working on RPG games and try to get some exclusivity behind them, even if it's a timed exclusive. I mean, Phil Spencer did kind of contradict himself, and he said that exclusives only hurt the gamers when he does timed exclusives anyway. So if he's perfectly okay with this, then he should continue trying to get more exclusives for his system. This is the problem with the Xbox now. It's not enough variety on that machine to make me go out and buy one. And even though the Windows Store sucks, you can still get those gimped ass games on PC anyway, not truly making them exclusive to the Xbox. So this is the problem. Microsoft is just riddled with issues, and I believe a lot of people just tend to overlook this. They don't listen to fact, they don't listen to what people say, and this is why the Xbox just tanks in sales in Japan, because they aren't marketing the machine properly to certain gamers, and they're canceling IPs, which is never a good sign. A canceled IP like Scalebound, even though you could say, I don't really care for JRPGs or RPGs, I don't really care for Platinum games, I mean, that's fine, but when Crackdown 3 is pretty much in the ether, when Bungie Studios and your partnership is gone with them, when Fable is now gone and Lionhead Studios has been pretty much shuffled out the door, there's just something going wrong. And I perfectly am a strong believer of a console having a resurgence, because this did happen with the PS3. You know how many people felt bad for buying a PS3 at launch? I'm pretty sure they did, because the PS3 did not do good at launch with that high launch price and the low amount of exclusives for it. So Microsoft cleaned house. The Xbox 360 pretty much cleaned house until that last point where the PS3 just made a comeback, because by that point so many developers found out how to work with that faulty technology that they put out the exclusives for it. You can only play Last of Us, Uncharted, and Infamous on the PS3. Nowhere else. That's what made people drawn to those systems. And a lot of people just don't understand killer apps is very important. I think to any gamer of any culture, killer apps is important. You must have a wide range of variety from Eastern, from Western, from any sort of developer, so you can thrive on that system by having just so much shit that people can't even choose. That's what makes me really enjoy being a gamer on the PS4, because I have a lot to choose from. I have a lot to pick and choose from. I have choice. It's like being a kid in a candy store. And that's what Microsoft needs on all fronts. Eastern and Western. They need that variety in mind. And people want Microsoft to do well. That's why they criticize them so much. So they shouldn't get rid of JRPGs. They should keep doing RPGs, because it has an audience, it makes money. I'm sure Final Fantasy 15 did well, even though it's an established IP. I'm pretty sure stuff does well if it's a good IP. I mean, Bloodborne worked out for PS4 owners, and that was, you know, a Souls game, but it still sold. So don't stop doing RPGs because they sell. Restructure your marketing advertising campaign, because I'm pretty sure it's a hot ass mess right now. And I read some articles not too long ago that says that they encourage trash talking in Call of Duty on Xbox Live, and Japanese gamers find that disrespectful and they won't do it. So you're catering to the wrong crowd if this is a part of your Japanese marketing campaign. I just think that Microsoft is doing something completely wrong for stuff to not sell on the Japanese side, and for gamers to be disappointed to say that they should just hand off the assets and the competition to Sony, because something is going wrong here. I think personally E3 2017 is going to make or break some Xbox gamers, and if they're disappointed, more people are just going to convert to the PS4, because that's where all the variety is. And PC as well, because PC, you know, you can do a ton of shit with that. Just a ton that you can't do on Xbox, that's for damn sure. I'm not trying to fire any shots, but as a PC owner for about a year, I can honestly say the PC has some pretty good stuff when it comes to playing either all your old games or going out and playing games always at 60 FPS. So Microsoft, step up your A game. You know, I'm not trying to get on anybody's case here, but maybe that's why you're having some shortcomings. And I don't know who won the December MPD, but I don't think it's the Xbox. I'm just calling that now. You know, right or wrong, but I'm calling it. I have a sneaking suspicion it's not going to be Microsoft. So, this is Renegade Operative signing off. I just wanted to talk a little bit about Microsoft to you guys, talk a little bit about what people think about the Xbox and should they cut their losses with the Japanese, since they don't really do well in Japan at all. So, this is my little rambling rant discussion, whatever you want to call it. But I laid the problems out to bear. In the end, it's up to the developers on how to fix and run their business. Also, I wanted to bring up a little bit of a key point. I believe that Broken Games HD or Brooklyn Skill Tree brought this up on his channel not too long ago, and he said that Microsoft probably should pass the torch, pass the baton of Halo, of Forza, of Gears of War to other capable and newer studios taking over these genres. Now, I said this was a catch-22. Do they want to pass the torch to new IPs, to new developers, and have newer juggernauts to usher in a new era? Because Microsoft really hasn't been doing that recently. They have a bad case of sequelitis, in my opinion. They like to pump out those money makers, and I mean, that's cool because Sony kind of does it as well, but at least they have enough new IPs to supplement having old existing IPs and newer IPs to fill the gap. So it's up to Microsoft to really make that decision if they want to usher in a new era of video games and mascots and IPs. It's just the fact of if they want to do it. That's the question, because I believe Forza, Gears, and all their other flagship titles, they can easily be replaced. Very easily. It just depends on the quality, what they're looking for, what will catch on, etc. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little Microsoft, Japanese, Xbox discussion with me just rambling on about some key points about Microsoft. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and once again, take care.